Hi everyone, here is Team 1064 and I'm Xuchen, and today we're presenting you what we have learned for the past 2 months working under Mr. Jordan D. Masson. So we initially thought we could actually do a working MVP to produce something by ourselves, but because the code base of Wobe is so huge that we actually spend more time reading on just understanding how Wobe works and our project. So instead, we will just present you what we have learned and hopefully you can find something meaningful from the presentation. So Wobe actually, so this is general flow how Wobe works. So from the client side, you have a component, and then when client do something like click a button, you will triggers an action. An action will be wrapping the requester to a put request and send to the web proxy, and the web proxy will put the message into messaging queue, and when workers are free or created, the workers will get the message from the messaging queue and push to and process it, and then the responses will be pushed back to the client through push notification, and at the client side there will be a push notification controller, and then triggers action again, and the action will be reduced to change of state and store in the store of your application. Yeah. So then your UIs will be updated, and and the information will be updated. Yeah. So this is general flow, and a big thing about Wobe is actually the architecture they use, which I learned was something new. There's the microservices. So basically, microservices means that you break down different functionality of your application into smaller pieces and develop them individually. So each microservice, as you can see, they have their own database, and then they have this AMQP messaging system allow them to talk to each other. And this greater independence of microservices allows greater scalability because you can just asserting in more microservices, and also it provides greater security and stability because if one microservices fail, the others will be still working, and also you will have a faster developing speed because you can work on different microservices at the same time. And then Diplomatica is how different microservices will talk to each other. And basically, there's a flow, and I actually talk about it in the README document, so that would be more detail. Okay, so yeah, AMQP. AMQP is where the messages pass around in different microservices, and you have a publisher who is the content provider, and then the publisher will publish the content to Exchange, and Exchange will route the content to the queue, and the queue will actually send the content and let the consumer consume the content, which is bound to the queue. So analogy to understand how this works is by imagine that you're sending a mail. So yeah, so there are actually few different ways of how AMQP can work, and they differ in terms of the relationship between exchange, queue, and consumer. There might be one-to-one, there might be one-to-many relationships, and you can actually check it out later. So another big thing about the application is how you send your push notification back to the users. And it will be initially used Parse, which is an open source project, but it was closing down. So they migrated into Firebase. And Firebase is really awesome because you can do a lot of things with Firebase. So as you can see here, this is a mini project I set up for when I was learning these. So you can actually create new messages, and you can also write your push notification controller by yourself, and so all these will be automated. And then you can also do like user authentication of emails, and you can store users information in your database. You can actually do static hosting of your websites and all these kind of cool stuff. Yeah, so because of time limit, it's pretty much about it. So hopefully you learn something new. Thank you.